Good afternoon. I am Dennis Deziel, Regional Administrator of the New England Office of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. I am honored to be here to announce the 2020 Environmental Merit Award winners and congratulate them on their environmental protection accomplishments. Although I wish we could all gather in person, we at EPA New England did not want to miss the opportunity to celebrate the work these people have done to benefit communities and ecosystems across New England. 2020 not only marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, but the 50th anniversary of EPA. The recipients this year take a special place in New England's history as environmental and public health champions. Today's award winners include public health and environmental stewards working in every corner of New England. The work done by these honorees has collectively driven progress toward clean water and clean air, built community support for investing in revitalization, sparked environmental innovation, reduced waste, and protected the public from exposure to harmful substances. The dedication of these people, their commitment to partnerships, and their passion for success has brought change that can be measured, change that has impact on the lives of New Englanders and the environment of our states. This year's award celebration looks different from years past. Today it is more important than ever to come together to celebrate good news and great stories. As the global pandemic continues to disrupt our communities, highlighting the work of these community champions can serve to remind us why, when the pandemic is past us, we're always served best when we work together. I am thrilled to be presenting this year's awards to a host of community leaders, scientists, government officials, business leaders, schools, and students who represent a diverse array of approaches but share a commitment to protecting the environment. On behalf of EPA and my colleagues at Region 1, thank you for your dedication. We respect and honor the work you do to make a difference in your communities. Okay, on to the awards.
Thank you, Dennis. My name is Doug Gutro. I'm the Director of Public Affairs with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Boston office, covering all of New England. I'm here joined today by Alex Mikos. We will narrate this video tribute. You know, each year, EPA New England's office celebrates the annual and lifetime accomplishments of noteworthy New Englanders. We hope this video tribute will serve as a lasting legacy to their fine work. We begin our recognition with a special award named after the former EPA Deputy Regional Administrator Ira Leighton. It's known as the In Service to States Award, and it was created after his passing by the three interstate agencies that help state governments deliver environmental and health protections. This award recognizes an individual who made significant strides in facilitating state and federal partnerships through innovative solutions that are sustainable and address critical environmental challenges in New England. Here to present the award is Sue Sullivan from the New England Interstate Water Pollution Control Commission.
The story of Ronald Poltak, who was at the helm of Ropeik for 37 years until his retirement in 2017, is the story of water quality efforts in the Northeast and nationally. Ron entered public service in New Hampshire as an intern in the State Planning Department in 1968 while still an undergraduate at the University of New Hampshire. He returned to the department following active duty in the Air Force, eventually becoming director of the planning office and advisor to New Hampshire governors on environmental issues. In 1979, Governor Hugh Gallen appointed Ron to Ropeik's governing commission. He was hired as the commission's executive director in 1983. Under his leadership, Ropeik expanded its scope to protect surface water, treat wastewater, address non-point source pollution, mercury and underground storage tanks, and expand training opportunities. Coordinated efforts between and among state administrations and agencies, federal agencies, Congress, and other national organizations. Under Ron's leadership, the organization also developed deep relationships with place-based programs such as the Lake Champlain Basin Program and the Narragansett Bay Estuary Program that endure into the present day. In the Northeast, where watersheds cross many political boundaries, interstate cooperation on water issues is essential. During his tenure, Ron built the commission into the indispensable vehicle for creative collaboration across states and disciplines, supporting clean water in every New England state and New York.
Thank you, Sue. The Environmental Merit Awards are given for work or actions done in the prior year. They're given out in 4 categories: individuals, businesses, which include professional organizations, government agencies, federal, state, county, and tribal, and environmental community, academia, and nonprofit organizations. Also each year, EPA presents Lifetime Achievement Awards to individuals who've given their careers and their lifetimes for environmental and public health protections. First, I want to tell you about 9 men and women who earned Lifetime Achievement Awards this year. These winners have shown continuous commitment to the environment and public health, leading to measurable, lasting results over their career or lifetime. Our first award winner is Sharri Venno of the Houlton Band of Maliseet Indians in Maine.
When Sharri Venno of the Houlton Band of Maliseet Indians came to the tribe in 1993, she was assigned to establish its environmental program. Nearly 3 decades later, Sharri has not only advanced the band's environmental program and watershed restoration, but has also represented her tribe and region in policy and problem solving at all levels of government. Representing New England's 10 federally recognized tribes on the National Tribal Operations Committee, Sharri has served on the National Tribal Caucus, collaborating with the EPA on policy and resource issues related to environmental programs in Indian country. Sharri has represented the Houlton Band on numerous environmental groups, and is a founding member of the Meduxtacag Watershed Coalition. Perhaps Sharri's most significant initiative was collaborating to restore the Woolastick-St. John River watershed. In 2015, Sharri's efforts resulted in U.S. and Canadian agencies and 6 Maliseet First Nations meeting to identify watershed restoration priorities and address fish passage concerns.
Our second award winner is a posthumous award to Barbara Cianfarini of Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
For the past generation, Barbara Cianfarini of Citizens for PCB Removal was a voice for the health of her Pittsfield neighbors and of the Housatonic River. Barbara's work contributed significantly to the PCB cleanup in Pittsfield, where General Electric's use of PCBs in its operations led to contamination that encompassed the GE facility and river, as well as dozens of Pittsfield homes. Barbara and others established the Citizens for PCB Removal in the 1990s to stimulate cleanup efforts by EPA and the state. The results were staggering. GE completed more than 200 residential cleanups and nearly 30 cleanups throughout Pittsfield and the river. Barbara has continued to prod EPA for 20 years. Her well-informed advocacy always came with the reminder that the cleanups are important for current residents and future generations. Barbara continued her advocacy while struggling with her own health. In November 2019, Barbara passed away. Her consistent voice, methodical preparation, and core values of respect and kindness live on and will continue to flow along with the river.
Next up is Patrick J. Sullivan of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Patrick J. Sullivan, Executive Director of the Springfield Department of Parks, Buildings, and Recreation Management, has been the mayor's point person for the city's Going Green effort. He has established an environmental team for parks and buildings, introduced a greenhouse keeping and recycling program, established 20 organic school gardens, and launched a pest management system in city buildings. Over the past 5 years, Patrick has reduced hazardous substances and pesticides and conventional fertilizers in all 3,000 acres of city land. Communities throughout New England are looking to replicate Springfield's organic fertilizing programs. Patrick has also worked to clean Springfield's water bodies through a plan that will reduce pollutant loads in bodies of water, reopening them for recreation and restoring habitats. Patrick's efforts have led to a 30% drop in energy use in city buildings since 2007. He has ensured the success of Springfield's Going Green programs through diligence, dedication, and commitment to environmental initiatives.
Our next Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Margaret VanDeusen of Boston, Massachusetts.
Margaret VanDeusen was Deputy Director and General Counsel for the Charles River Watershed Association for nearly 20 years before retiring last year. During her tenure, Margaret helped build the association into a strong environmental advocacy organization. Before that, Margaret was Assistant Attorney General in the Environmental Protection Division of the Massachusetts Attorney General's Office. She made a career of fighting for environmental protection and restoration, and the waterways of Massachusetts are healthier for her efforts. At the Attorney General's office, Margaret took on polluters to restore degraded sites. At the Watershed Association, she became one of the state's most trusted advocates, fighting for the public's right to access public trust lands. She fought to strengthen protections for fish and aquatic life in drinking water laws and permits. Margaret's knowledge of law and her diligence made her a formidable foe, yet anyone who sat opposite Margaret walked away respecting her.
Our next Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Barbara McMillan of Concord, New Hampshire.
For 30 years, Barbara McMillan has been dedicated to educating communities and individuals to be better environmental stewards. In 1997, Barbara became recycling coordinator for the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services and later became outreach coordinator for DES's Non-Point Source Management Program, a position she held until 2018. During her career, Barbara provided leadership for many programs including marine debris, pet waste, septic systems, stormwater, turf management, watershed planning, and water quality. In 2012, Barbara was central in establishing the state's Soak Up the Rain program, which helps homeowners manage stormwater runoff. Her ability to inspire people to achieve a common goal was critical to the program's success. To this day, the state stormwater coalitions rely on Barbara's knowledge and ability to work with EPA to find solutions for complying to municipal stormwater permits. New Hampshire's environmental department and the thousands of people with whom she worked are indebted to Barbara for her contributions to New Hampshire's environment.
Our next Lifetime Achievement Award winner is Sarah Pillsbury of Concord, New Hampshire.
Sarah Pillsbury, who retired after 35 years with the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, began her career reviewing septic system designs and subdivision plans and soon became a manager of the Groundwater Protection Bureau and the Drinking Water Source Protection Section. Sarah excelled at building a culture of mutual respect as she empowered staff to develop initiatives and improve programs. Her willingness to listen and consider input and opinions from all staff levels gave true meaning to the word teamwork. During her career, Sarah became nationally respected in the drinking water field. She built and managed a program that serves as a model to other states. Sarah's impact at the regional and national levels include contributions made by her staff in emerging contaminants, emergency preparedness, and source water protection. Throughout her career, Sarah was committed to environmental and public health protection. Those who worked with Sarah are motivated to continue her commitment to providing safe and reliable drinking water.
Alicia M. Good of Providence, Rhode Island, is our next Lifetime Award winner.
Alicia M. Good, Assistant Director for Water Resources at the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, served 37 years with DEM, the last 28 years in water resource protection before retiring in 2019. A professional engineer, Alicia updated water quality regulations and improved water quality through water quality-based permits for wastewater treatment facilities and upgrades to infrastructure, including in Narragansett Bay. By 2012, nutrient pollutant loadings to the upper bay were cut in half and dozens of overflows of untreated discharges were abated. Her leadership led to increased access for shell fishing and recreational uses. Alicia has a long record of advancing watershed-based approaches to water resource protection and restoration. Whether working on a national, regional, or state level, Alicia never wavered in her commitment to do what was best for the long-term protections of water resources. Alicia's dedication and impact improved the quality of life for Rhode Islanders.
Our next award winner in the Lifetime Achievement category is also posthumous. It's Robert Stankelis of Providence, Rhode Island.
The late Robert Stankelis, manager of the Narragansett Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve for over 15 years, leaves a legacy of people, creatures, and places that he made better through his influence. The research reserve on Prudence Island in Narragansett Bay is now the foremost place in Rhode Island for salt marsh research and a living laboratory for environmental education. Bob's legacy includes the conservation of additional natural lands on Prudence Island to expand the reserve and enhance its programs. He brought partners together to protect over 225 acres of land, ensuring 85% of Prudence Island is protected in perpetuity. At the same time, Bob focused on many successful ventures to improve the facilities and infrastructure of the reserve. Bob hired highly qualified staff and fostered an open, collaborative culture to bring out the best in his staff. In addition to serving as an extraordinary leader for over 15 years, Bob was a cherished friend and wonderful person.
Our final award winner in the Lifetime Achievement category is Colleen Hickey from Grand Isle, Vermont.
Throughout Colleen Hickey's 27 years with the Lake Champlain Basin Program, she has worked to educate the next generation and help people understand Lake Champlain management issues. Colleen started her career with EPA in the infancy of the Lake Champlain Basin Program and pioneered initiatives to promote the health of Lake Champlain. Colleen developed Champlain Connection, a segment on the evening news still running today featuring stories about Lake Champlain. Colleen was key in developing the Champlain Basin Education Initiative and its program training teachers in watershed education. She was also a driver of a social media campaign to reduce fertilizer on residential property. Colleen also developed programs to help kids in summer camps learn about Lake Champlain's biology. The education and outreach team of the Lake Champlain program, which Colleen manages, connects with over 35,000 people yearly. Colleen's work has reached untold numbers of people as teachers share knowledge with students who share with parents, friends, and other community members.
That closes out our Lifetime Achievement Award category this year. We want to thank each and every one of the men and women for their many years of dedication and for the difference that they've made in the lives of every New Englander. Now I'd like to move on to the annual award category, and we will start with the individual awards. We'd like to honor the men and women, 4 from Massachusetts and 3 from New Hampshire, who have been recognized this year in this category. First up is Mayor Daniel Rivera from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Mayor Daniel Rivera's leadership and vision has led to environmental protection improvements, community revitalization, and economic redevelopment in the city of Lawrence. A lifetime resident raised in public housing, Mayor Rivera understands the concerns of citizens in this city, with the lowest income and highest immigrant population in Massachusetts. Upon taking office, Mayor Rivera set his sights on environmental issues and brownfields-related projects, built a team to address these issues, and forged a partnership with the EPA.
Next up is Magdalena Ayed of East Boston, Massachusetts.
Magdalena Ayed is the founder and executive director for the Harbor Keepers, and in that role has helped build an equitable and sustainable coastal community in East Boston. Her organization's mission is to create a community prepared for potential impacts of major flooding or storms. A clear and dire need for climate resiliency and education in this community led Magdalena to found Harbor Keepers in 2016. And since then, Harbor Keepers has taken the lead in building coastal resiliency by educating youth and adults about coastal issues and the impact of climate change.
Our third winner in the individual category is Wayne Chouinard of Arlington, Massachusetts.
Wayne Chouinard's environmental leadership as Arlington town engineer has provided a cleaner, healthier environment. During the past 2 years, Wayne has been the primary town contact and supervisor in a collaborative effort in the Mystic River watershed to explore how communities can reduce nutrient pollution and stormwater discharges. In a pilot project with EPA, Arlington and Winchester aimed at better managing stormwater. Wayne put in place more effective and economical stormwater innovations. His efforts helped spark a second round of municipal and agency collaboration in the watershed with 4 more communities, which are likely to result in a cleaner Mystic River.
Our next award winner is Michele Paul of New Bedford, Massachusetts.
To accomplish environmental gains in a city facing significant environmental challenges, you need a champion, and New Bedford has Michele Paul, director of the city's Office of Environmental Stewardship. Home to one of the largest Superfund sites in the region, the city also has dozens of brownfield sites. Since she began her role in 2012, New Bedford has seen unprecedented successes. Working with the New Bedford Harbor Superfund team, Michele leads the construction of the Riverwalk along the Acushnet River. Michele has reinvigorated the city's brownfields program, managing more than $1.6 million in EPA funding. Recently, Michele took on leadership for the city's brownfields job training grant. Michele, a joy to work with, is continually lighting the way to environmental and public health wins for her community.
Catherine Beahm of Merrimack, New Hampshire, is our next individual award winner.
Since the discovery of PFAS in water around St. Gobain Performance Plastics in Merrimack, Catherine Beahm of the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services has led the state response to the facility's PFAS air emissions. Kathy reviewed thousands of pages of records to understand the impacts of the PFAS and became a national authority on PFAS emissions control. She has been the driving force in a historic air permit that allows St. Gobain to continue operating while ensuring PFAS compounds are destroyed and prevent further groundwater contamination.
Join us in congratulating Annie Ropeik of Concord, New Hampshire.
Annie Ropeik did more than 200 stories for New Hampshire Public Radio on environmental and energy issues. Among these stories were more than 40 that related to PFAS. Annie also regularly filed stories on developments at Superfund sites across New Hampshire and on clean water issues related to lead and arsenic in drinking water. As there are fewer and fewer reporters nationwide focusing almost solely on environmental topics, Annie's work is even more critical to informing listeners.
Michele Tremblay of Manchester, New Hampshire, closes out the category in the individual award winners in 2020.
If you want the impossible done in the environmental realm, ask Michele Tremblay. unpaid president of the New Hampshire Rivers Council who led a crusade to restore McQuestion Brook and its watershed. Michele brought together EPA grants, state and municipal funds, and in-kind services with countless volunteer hours to do this project that involved removing 4 dams, eliminating a stream crossing, and upgrading a second crossing. Michele's efforts have allowed the restored McQuestion Brook and native population of brook trout to prosper.
Our next category of award winners is the government category, and we have several government agencies that have done more than their fair share to improve our region's environment and its public health. Let me tell you about a state agency in Massachusetts and a collaboration of many government agencies working with academia in Vermont. First up is the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, its Highway Division, and Environmental Services in Boston, Massachusetts.
The Massachusetts Rivers and Roads Training Program, launched by the Massachusetts Department of Transportation in 2018, is aimed at creating more resilient infrastructure and protecting rivers. The program has brought about a culture change at Massachusetts Department of Transportation. Training participants learn how to reduce future damage through innovative design practices at locations of river road conflicts. The trainings, attended by more than 300 people, have been replicated in all 6 state highway districts and tailored to local issues. The courses have also been adapted for towns and cities. The program promotes flood resiliency planning that saves money, keeps the public safer, and reduces flooding and erosion. It also protects rivers and water quality. This program has helped reinforce the proper sizing of bridges and culverts. The program has changed the way business is done across the Commonwealth's transportation sector.
Our next award winner in the government category is the Vermont Aquifer Characterization Team in Bennington, Vermont.
This team includes Jonathan Kim, the team's leader from Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation, Peter Ryan, Middlebury College, Tim Schrader, Bennington College, Edwin Romanowitz, SUNY Plattsburgh, David Bauta, University of Massachusetts Amherst, Jamie Shanley, U.S. Geological Survey, and David DeSimone, Geoscience. EPA New England's Marcel Bellevelle was also part of the team. A plume contaminated with PFOA and rock aquifers in the Bennington area affected several hundred drinking water wells, surface water, and sediment. This team of scientists provided crucial interpretations and data to help the community address risks, find sites for monitoring wells, and determine how much infrastructure should be expanded. The project demonstrated the value of a 4-dimensional framework, which includes time. The physical model allowed the team to determine potential avenues for groundwater and PFAS transport, and groundwater fingerprinting helped in understanding contamination patterns and safeguarding drinking water.
As we move on to the next category, this year we would like to recognize 3 groups in the category of environmental, community, academia, and nonprofit. In this group, we have winners from Connecticut, Maine, and Vermont. Our first award winner is Sustainable Connecticut in Willimantic, Connecticut.
The Sustainable CT program supports efforts by towns and cities in Connecticut to protect their resources with a focus on environmental stewardship, resiliency planning, clean transportation, and infrastructure. The Institute for Sustainable Energy at Eastern Connecticut State University was a leader in developing the program, involving a checklist and voluntary certification for Connecticut municipalities who meet a range of criteria related to sustainability. Over half the communities in the state are involved, and half of these have been certified.
Our second award winner in this category is the Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission in Saco, Maine.
The Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission's Brownfields program has an extraordinary track record with over $224 million leveraged and $10 million in EPA funds used for revitalizing contaminated sites. The Commission has redeveloped a former tannery, a town pier, a church, fire station, schools, and several mills, now homes for small businesses, restaurants, and housing units. The Commission's process for identifying projects and funding and eventual redevelopment is a model. The Commission successfully creates more sustainable communities while spurring economic development.
Our final award winner in this category is the Seymour Lake Association in Morgan, Vermont.
The Seymour Lake Association has worked to provide clean water for lake users in northeastern Vermont. The lake was suffering from rising phosphorus concentrations that brought increased aquatic plant and algae growth caused by shoreland development. Encouraged by the state, the Lake Association adopted shoreland protection measures, and as a result, the lake returned to its earlier status and often is cited as an example of how lakeshore residents together can reverse water quality trends.
Our final category in the annual awards is the Business and Industry category. This year, we have 2 annual awards recognizing businesses both from Maine who run enterprises that make money and provide jobs and at the same time take care of the environment. Our first award winner in this category is Pottle's Transportation of Herman, Maine.
Pottle's Transportation values giving back to the community and to the environment. Not only does Pottle's recycle paper products and reuse waste oil for heating, it also takes steps to improve air quality. Company trucks come with multiple safety features and allow for improved fuel mileage. The company, which spends $10,000 per truck so they are equipped with auxiliary power units and don't have to idle, seeks to demonstrate the importance of air quality to other companies, its employees, and drivers.
Our final award winner in the business and industry category is Agri-Cycle Energy in Scarborough, Maine.
Agri-Cycle's mission is to divert food waste from incinerators and landfills in an environmentally responsible way. Using anaerobic digesters, the company converts food into clean, renewable energy. Agri-Cycle, which is on a 5th-generation farm, processed more than 54,000 tons from 1,500 partners in 2018. By sending zero food waste to landfills, it is reducing greenhouse gas emissions and soil and water contamination while turning waste into electricity. One of the first in the area to collect and digest food waste on a commercial scale, Agri-Cycle now supports others new to the field.
This concludes the final individual award winners for the program. Next up, we'll move into special awards. Our first special award category is in the area of children's health.
This year's award goes to Kathy Best, a lifelong resident of Dorchester who is deeply committed to creating access to services in underserved communities, particularly for those most vulnerable to health disparities and environmental impacts. Kathy has more than 20 years of service in the federal government with the Food and Nutrition Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Health Resources and Services Administration of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Her most recent appointment was as a project officer and maternal and child health consultant at HHS in Boston, a position where she helps children and families across New England. There, Kathy managed an $800 million block grant that is a key source of funding for the health and well-being of mothers, children, and families. Kathy recently was appointed Chief Performance and Strategy Officer at the 49-year-old Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center. Kathy uses knowledge and skills gained in federal service to help improve the health of women, infants, and babies. In addition, she volunteers with an advocacy group, Blacks in Government, and serves as the lead for the National Future Leaders in America's Government program. Under Kathy's leadership, more than 1,000 underserved youth have been exposed to careers in government.
There's nothing more fitting to wrap up the 50th anniversary of Earth Day and the 50th anniversary of EPA and our Merit Award ceremony than to recognize the youth in our region. The President's Environmental Youth Awards given each year to students for projects that show promise and commitment to protecting natural resources and engaging their communities.
This year, that award goes to the Green Team at Rockport Public Schools in Massachusetts. This student team includes Nathaniel Kirby, Amanda Verga, Patrick Morin, Sebastian Lavasco, Joshua Farrell, and Caitlin Morin. The teacher sponsor is Robert Aaliyah. 6 Rockport students in grades 6 through 12 designed and carried out a greenhouse project through their student-run Green Team Club that has helped raise environmental consciousness in their community. The project involved raising $70,000, building a greenhouse, and growing plants, all with a goal to educate students and the community about sustainable, locally grown agriculture and the environment. These student leaders, with guidance from an adult advisor, succeeded in getting students and the community involved in sustainable agriculture. They worked evenings and weekends, watering, harvesting, preparing educational materials, and attending farmers markets. They have educated the community on the importance of growing food locally to help reduce waste and pollution from transporting food, and they have given students an opportunity to learn gardening while using environmentally friendly alternatives to chemical pesticides. Produce grown by the Green Team is served in school cafeterias and in summer is sold along with starter plants at the local farmers market, thereby educating community on sustainable solutions and practices.
And that wraps up our 2020 EPA New England Environmental Merit Awards ceremony. Like many other awards ceremonies this past year, this has been virtual. As much as we'd like to shake each and every hand of the award winners and have them take the stage to join us to accept their award, that's not possible. But we're more proud than ever of the work that you've done and the accomplishments that you've made on behalf of the people of New England and her environment. We hope all that watch this video tribute will join us in collectively expressing our gratitude to those we recognize today who are leaving an indelible mark on New England's public health and environment.